brewing temperature. So you buy your pint 2, you go online, it says, right, if you're doing lagers, 16 to 18 degrees. If you're doing ales, 18 to 20. Now, the reason it's important to know how warm your brew is because for yeast to ferment and work best, it needs to be at a moderately constant temperature, so no fluctuations, and it needs to generally be warm. Now, stay to the end of the video because I will be telling you exactly what Pinter said about the optimal temperatures for the different lagers and ales. So today we're going to be looking at this. This is a smart thermostat that I picked up, and we're going to be I'll be telling you why I bought it, why I think it's good, and why I think everyone should have something like this. Now, this is fairly cheap. It costs £12, and there's a reason for that. But again, we'll go through that in a bit. If you like the content, please hit that like button. That would be great. And if you're wondering what I'm drinking the Winter Sun, my first brew. And if you haven't seen the playlist, I'll put it above there. Cool. Right, I said like, right? Yeah? Yeah, cool. Okay, so as you may know, I recently got my pints 2. I went online and it said it needs to be brewing at around 18 to 20 degrees. I was like, okay, I need a thermostat. So I spent £8.50 on this. I thought, great, it tells me how hot it is. Yeah, it's 24 degrees currently. Put this on top of the Pinter, and then I found myself opening the airing cupboard to take the temperature about 20 times a day. So please do not buy one of these. £8.50 down the drain. Then I started looking at smart thermostats. I picked up this one, £12.50. I thought it was quite good value, and these are the reasons why I like it, and these are the reasons why I think you could get one or should get one, and I think it would help you work out exactly where you're going to put the Pinter while it's brewing. So this is a unit itself. It just tells you the max min, which is kind of important, but then also the current temperature, and it's only Bluetooth enabled. Now, the reason that's important is that you might be saying, Frank, I want a Wi-Fi one. I want to see, real-time data when I'm at the supermarket or in the office. I want to see how warm my airing cupboard is. That's cool, but you're going to be paying a lot more for that. Realistically, because it's Bluetooth, it's quite cheap. It holds 20 days worth of data. So as long as you go onto your app, which I'll show you in a sec, and then you just refresh, you don't have to have it constantly monitoring. The battery life will be a lot better than Wi-Fi as well, because again, it's just storing all of the data for the last 20 days in here, and then it only transfers when you connect up to the app. And then the actual app itself, so I don't use this on my iPad, I use it on my phone, but just to give you a better indication, you go into the app, hit refresh. So if we go back, you can see here I've got my brewing cupboard there, and then I click on refresh, click on week, and there's a little loading. Now bear in mind, I'm downstairs and my brewing cupboard's upstairs, so we're not actually that close, but still it says sync complete, and this is what my graph looks like. So you might be thinking, well, it's going up and down like crazy, but actually if I look at it, sure, right at the beginning of the week that was 25 degrees, then it dropped down to a minimum of 18 degrees, so that's a swing of 7 degrees. However, most of the time the average temperature, it says here, is 21 degrees, so pretty bang on for ales that I'm brewing in my airing cupboard. And while admittedly there are swings up and down, that's the ambient temperature of the room. which will change quite quickly depending on whether I've got the heating on or not, and depending on how cold it is at night. So when it's at night, it seems to drop down further. It's been quite warm the last few days, so if we go to the last 24 hours, actually the minimum is 19.6 degrees and the maximum is 20.7. So there's only a degree in there, really. So yeah, really think it's worth it. It gives you an idea of exactly where you're putting your pinter. You can also move it about. So when I start doing lagers, the airing cover is going to be too warm. So I'm going to start moving this around my house to see if I can find somewhere that's a little bit cooler. Now, before I go, I did say that I'll be telling you exactly what pint to recommend, and I didn't get this information personally. This was on one of the groups, so a big shout out to Mike on the Knights Pinter group. But effectively, he reached out to Pinter, and this is what they said. I've asked the brewing team for a little rundown of ideal temperatures for the different types of fresh presses. The yeast we use in our lagers are, so this is the response. The yeast we use in our lagers are best between 16 and 22 degrees. However, as close to the colder end that as the better. So basically 16 degrees to 18 degrees would be ideal for lagers. And the rest, ales and ciders, should be between 18 to 25. So from what I'm reading there, that's what the greater good are saying, so Pinter themselves. And if I go into my app again, I think I said it was averaging around 20.5 degrees. So I'm happy with that. Now, unless you've got an actual fermentation chamber where you can dial in the temperature, you're probably going to be like me, where you're just going to have to find spots in your house that kind of will go up and down slightly, but average out at that temperature you want. And that's why I think for £12, it's one of the cheapest ones on there, but it definitely does the job. So yeah, have a look on Amazon. If you use something else, then please feel free to add a comment. But for the moment, that's it for this video. So I'll say cheers, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.